thing about Montana whitetails is they're everywhere. We saw deer before we could even see. I mean, it's just like little ghost figures out there in the fields. I mean, it's incredible.
There's 3 bucks in there, Chris.
And so as this cloak lifted and you could see the silhouette inky forms became real deer and outlines of deer, you could start making out antlers and stuff. It's like, oh, what do you think of that buck over there? Well, he's not as good as that buck over there. How about those 4 bucks over there? You know, let's see what they do. And
we got another little buck right here close. He's narrow, but he's heavy. Got a bunch of points, I think. He's a deer that if you give him 2 years, he'll be a pretty buck. He's got 2 things going against him. He's short-tined and he's narrow. Yeah.
We started out pretty strong, really. Just nothing that we were quite ready to pull the trigger on.
There's another buck out there. That's a better buck.
only in Montana, man. I mean, it's just such a unique experience to see so many deer.
It's cool. Very cool. Yeah, I like that.
You know, it really plays my ADD quite well, actually.
Now Chris Dorsey's attention's focused on the country on Montana's Beaverhead River between Dillon and Twin Bridges. This is where World Barilla host and author Dorsey's come to hunt deer with Montana Bucks and Ducks outfitters and with guide and outfitter Bill Kemp, who manages the prime hunting on thousands of acres on this game-abundant river bottomland.
Hopefully she's got a boyfriend.
There's a number of reasons why this is such a great whitetail area. There's a lot of farming goes on around here, a lot of alfalfa, a lot of barley.
And there's so much food, there's almost no winter kill here whatsoever. And frankly, the hunting pressure is not that intense.
Our buck-doe ratio we've been working on really hard. We're killing a lot of does off these ranches every year. I think we're somewhere in the vicinity of 1 buck to every 2 does, maybe even a little better than that. It makes killing these bucks a little bit easier. They're out hunting the does a little harder than they normally would have been a few years ago.
I'll tell you what, the number of deer you see in these river bottoms in Montana, it's amazing. They all look fat and happy down here, that's for sure.
Boy, the ones we kill, they're just, I mean, they couldn't be any fatter.
Yeah, lots of deer. Just gotta find Mr. Right, huh? Mr. Big.
Right now we're the very first days of November. It's right on the edge of the rut. I'm seeing a little bit of rut activity. We're still up against the bucks going in early and coming out late.
So the first morning in this blind, this makeshift duck blind, you know, as I'm seeing mallards flying over within shotgun range, and I'm kind of doing this in my mind, and Bill says, you know, let me just try a little grunting and a little rattling and see what happens. You know, we've got this kind of thick screen behind us in the open field, and very often they'll just pop out, and sure enough, he hits the antlers, little pre-rut, and boom, these deer start trotting in. There's probably 20, 25 deer.
Right here. Coming right at us. Look, that's a nice buck, Chris.
There's one buck that stood out. So we just watched this deer, big body, big frame, probably a 4.5-year-old buck, you know, and I love taking mature deer. And this deer came closer and closer.
What is he broken? Oh, no.
No, he's not broken. That's a non-typical. Look at that. He's got like a dagger on his right side.
Wow.
Here he comes. Look at that. Got his little brother there too.
Yeah. Boy, that's a shame.
Look at that guy. He's a 145-ish buck if he's even.
Just a spike on the other side.
Yeah, it's definitely not broken. It's just a,
yep.
That's just one weird dagger. He must have gotten injured. He's not limping though. But I thought about it. I thought, you know, he's interesting, he's unique, he's clearly mature. Maybe I take him, but it's day 1. Look at this right here.
Wow.
There he goes. How about a swim, guys?
Cooled out.
Look at that. That was slick.
Yeah.
Very slick. Do that again, see what else comes in. A little fight going on, a little sparring.
Oh. 2 spikes. Hardcore stuff.
This is a little hotbed right here, isn't it? This is a little funnel. So this is your buddy's old blind, huh? Duck blind?
Yep. It's a sad story. He's one of my very best friends.
He's the guy who got me on this ranch, but yeah, this spring he had a bad car accident, so.
It was a very special hunt for me this morning. I got to sit in my old buddy's, Mike Hilton's old duck blind. He left us a little bit too quick in a tragic car crash this spring, and we were able to utilize his duck blind. It worked out perfect. I don't know if he ever really planned on it being a great deer blind. I know he sure enjoyed hunting the deer here and hunting the ducks. He was a great outdoorsman, and we'll dearly miss him. Hopefully he's watching out for us here this morning.
So far, so good.
Stand.
This is definitely their corridor, isn't it? Yeah, maybe they'll settle down and make a move back this way. Get her out. Definitely wanted to come this way.
Sure enough, we get in there and there's probably twice as many deer. This is just one day different. There's 50, 60 head sitting out there, and there's maybe a dozen bucks.
There was a lot more deer this morning that came through.
This guy's on the 10-pointer coming right up here. Pretty deer. He's pretty. Yeah, get him. Yeah, there's 2 bucks back there. They're pretty good. There's one on the right side, one on the left side, both in the back.
Way off in the distance, we saw 2 bucks, the whole herd, that really stood out. I mean, there was one that kind of broke to the left and really never came back. And then off to the right, way out 700, 800 yards away at least, there was another good buck, but he sort of stayed out by himself. And at a certain point when it gets light out in this field, it's like they just scramble. It's like literally the light switch goes on and they run into the heavy cover.
There's a bunch of them running this way. It could be interesting. Yep. Classic Montana. Lots of deer. Yep. Jesus, look at all those deer going across the fences now, getting in. It's like a migration. Our deer is way out there.
Deep in our minds, we kept watching this buck.
And then finally, a couple little deer came through, and he makes a beeline for us that's 700, 800 yards away, coming straight at us.
He is coming, Chris. Yeah, he's gonna make it.
These little guys here.
Yeah, we gotta be careful. Yeah, he's on a rope. Oh yeah, here it comes.
Just isn't often that it happens that way, where there's 1,000 miles of river for him to go down, but he happens to come straight at us. And he's coming, and I'm kind of hidden behind a bit of a bush in this blind, and this buck is coming closer and closer. Finally, I lean over, get the binos on him, and it's like, why wouldn't I take that deer? I mean, there he is, right?
He's almost up to the fence. Good buck. 80. Yeah.
That's a good buck.
He's at least a 130 10 point. Yeah, I don't think we want to pass him up, probably. Get around these guys here. He's gonna make it.
Along Montana's Beaverhead River, World of Beretta host Chris Dorsey and Montana Bucks and Ducks outfitter Bill Kemp have a whitetail on a rope on its way to them.
Where is he? Right there. It's a good lefty. Make sure you want him. Yeah, smoking.
Then at a certain point where I think he's going to jump the fence and come right in front of us, he just stops, turns, and starts running away.
Yeah, he's headed to the left.
Ah,
He's gonna jump
ah. So I'm just bleeding at him, trying to get him to stop and turn around and give me one quick shot.
Get him when he jumps the fence, Chris.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
And as soon as he jumped over and basically stopped and kind of looked back,
Gave Chris the perfect shot, and Chris more than took advantage of it. Say goodnight. Boom.
And stay out of the river.
God, was that perfect, huh?
He couldn't have came better.
I mean, that was cool. He was out by himself, way out by himself. I thought, you know, I figured he was going to bed down out there. I didn't think he'd come.
I did too.
He looked up and said, where'd everybody go? Let's
Yeah.
go.
He
Let's go
came-
check him out, man.
Had to come at least a mile.
Cool.
Well done.
That was cool. Beautiful buck.
Fun.
Yeah, it was nice of him not to go into the river.
Yeah.
I appreciate
I like his-
considerate deer, you know?
I really didn't feel like swimming this morning. 20 degrees.
Stevie Wonder could follow this trail. Look at that.
Holy smokes.
Just painted all the way through here.
Little blood spray here.
Just a bit.
Good grief, look at this.
Wow. You're making a believer out of me.
Looks like spray paint going all the way down. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Look at that. Look at that Accubon. Woo.
Wow.
Look at that. What a heavy beast, huh? Come on over, check him out.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is pretty, Chris.
That's a real nice buck.
Yeah.
Real nice buck.
Like this.
He's at least 3.5.
At least
a
3.5
year old buck. He was the king of the roost here for sure. Look at that, just perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah.
A little kicker off the brow. Very nice, man. Well done.
Well done to
You
you.
spotted him early on too, buddy. That
It's
is
been a
dandy.
pleasure.
Bless you, Billy.
Thank
A
you.
lot of good times out here.
Yeah. A lot more to come.
And you're looking at the mountains, more mallards are flying, the Canada geese are starting to honk. You're just absorbed in Montana. I mean, it's just a magnificent place, and really a magical place that is really becoming more like home to me every day.